So I've got no way of telling if the microphone is working. Doesn't look like it's working. Maybe it does. I don't know. If you guys are out there and you can hear me, let me know. It looks like maybe it's working a little. We'll just go with it, okay? If not, I'll come back and do this again. You can just try to read my lip. How's that? All right. Jim Adkins here from Adkins Results Coaching on November 18th. It's Monday morning. And I had somebody reach out to me last week about a topic that I mentioned I would do Sunday. And I didn't get a chance to Sunday. Sunday was very busy, which is awesome. And I'm very blessed for that. But so I'm going to touch on it this morning. And the idea is self-sabotaging. That's kind of a weird statement. It's fun to say sometimes and tougher to say others. So self-sabotaging. How do we get out of our own way? Get out of our own head. Get out of our own way. Stop doing things that don't necessarily benefit us. It's a big one, right? So the research that I've done in the past, and I'll do some more research for you. I'll come back tomorrow and do a little bit more on this subject. But the research I've done in the past, there are about 5 basic reasons why we do it. And I'm sure there's a ton of other reasons that you can put in there, reasons and excuses, right? But I thought I'd pick on a couple of the big ones today. One, we tell ourselves unrealistic things within our belief systems. And you hear me talk about our belief systems and our paradigms a lot. What you believe you deserve, you get. That's it. If you believe that you're unworthy, that's the truth for your life at the moment. You need to be able to change that. Now, I know me telling you this is nothing new. You've heard this. Good morning, sir. But doing the actual work to get it done, to actually change it, takes a little bit of effort. It really does. So while you hear it, maybe you read it, maybe you see it, if you don't put the work in, it's not going to change. And I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. So when you have a belief, and you may not even know it yet, and this is what a good coach can help you discover. If you have a belief that's not empowering, and like I said, you may not even know it. It may be buried so deep in there that you've had it forever that you just don't even recognize it. And this is true of everybody, including myself. I rediscover new things about me every day. And some of them are beliefs that are not empowering. And we have a tendency to lie to ourselves. And I know lie is a harsh word, but we tell ourselves things to cushion the blow, to make it easier to accept that we're not perfect. I've only got a couple minutes, so I'm going to go really quick here. I'm going to get in visual mode, so hang on, okay? Self-sabotaging starts when you're trying to make a change, and you can be the most motivated, the most driven person out there moving forward or learning as much as you can, and then all of a sudden you just don't understand it's not working. All of a sudden things are back to where they used to be, or you're not feeling fulfilled and you're unhappy and all these other things. So how is it we get past that? How do we get beyond that? How can we take that belief system and remove it? Well, I can help you with that. So you can reach out to me and I can help you with that. But right now on here, let me point out some ways that things you might be doing or excuses or obstacles you might be using to accomplish those failures, okay? Number one is the rule or idea of the imposter. And I heard it called this yesterday, the imposter, and I liked it, so I'm going to use it. The imposter means you don't feel like you're worthy of not only where you're at, where you've attained, but definitely not where you're going. And you're just waiting to be found out, that you're waiting for other people to discover that you really don't know what you're talking about, or you really haven't put in enough effort or time. Now, I find this a lot with black belts who are humble. And let me explain this to you. You get to moving on a path, and it takes you out of your comfort zone. And make a note right here real quick. It was okay, so you start moving in a path, and you achieve. You get to accomplish some wonderful things, and now you're moving up in whatever it is, the company, your relationship, your finances, you're moving up, and you're accomplishing these wonderful things, and all of a sudden you become a mind reader. and you think you know what everybody's thinking about you, and you start to worry that maybe you're not worthy of what's in front of you. Maybe you're not worthy of this great relationship. Um, and I know it sounds silly, right? But it happens. We all have those subconscious, those submodalities, those paradigms that we've held on to unknowingly and sometimes knowingly forever. Maybe we believe we have to have a lot of friends to be successful. Well, if you grew up and you were surrounded by wonderful people or friends, you had a lot of friends, let's say junior high, high school, those are your golden years, and you had a ton of friends. Well, guess what? You all met at one place. You're all in the same area. If you're a friendly person, the natural thing is that will happen is you will have a lot of friends. That makes sense? Well, now you're a grown up and you isolate yourself. You stay home or you work a job that corrals you into, and these are not bad things. These are not bad things, but I'm telling you some truths here. You corral yourself at your work with just the people at work, and you do your job and you go home and you're by yourself and you go to work, and you're upset or unsatisfied because you don't have a lot of friends anymore. Well, guess what? They're not going to come and knock on your door. Maybe some of them will. I don't know where you live, but I highly doubt it'll be anything like it used to be in high school. You go to college and there's 43,000 people on the campus of Arizona State University, and now there's so many people you don't make friends. That's because you're not looking. You're not reaching out in college. Maybe you were focused and you didn't, that wasn't what you were looking for at the time. And your reticular activating system said, this is not important. This will not get me to my goal. Partying and doing all this stuff will not actually help me pass the classes and exit college on a positive note. And you don't have a ton of friends. But your paradigm says that you're a failure if you don't. Well, now you're beating yourself up. You've started walking east to see a beautiful sunset. Not going to happen. Okay. So we need to change the paradigm and need to change what makes us feel fulfilled in that situation. Now, I can't tell you how you're supposed to feel about that. I can't. This is for you to discover. This is for things that we can uncover as a coach. And it's not that hard, but there's work involved. So that's just one way. So now you're the imposter, you're at work, you got a relationship, or all of a sudden you have more money than you've ever had in your life. And you feel like deep inside, not consciously, you didn't do enough. Why you? What did you ever do to achieve these wonderful things or deserve these wonderful things? Or maybe you were told to your paradigm that having money was evil, or that there's no such thing as a great relationship. Somebody's going to screw you over. Don't let yourself get too happy. Uh, don't give all of yourself because people will abuse and use you. These are paradigms that are half truths. Are there people that will abuse you and use you? Yes. Learn to recognize them and move on. Okay. The more you learn to recognize them, the easier it is to stay away from them. Be careful, though, not to start judging people, everybody, by other people's actions. Okay. So that's just one thing in a relationship. Now, you've got a ton of money and you've always been, money doesn't grow on trees. There are starving people in Africa and you need to eat it. These are paradigms that you grow up with that are not true. I mean, well, sure, there might be starving people, but they're not true about the money. They're not true about how much abundance you're allowed to have. And if you believe them deeply, you start doing things. Your actions start doing things. You don't show up. You do a half-assed job. You spend uncontrollably. You don't pay attention to your finances. You start living beyond your means just so deep down, and I know it sounds crazy, right? That you become less affluent, less abundant. And now you're back to that comfort zone. This is the imposter idea, right? Now, you're not an imposter. Well, unless you've lied. Now, let's say you've lied your whole life and you're faking it. And I've seen this happen too. People lie about certain situations. They believe in the fact that fake it till you make it. Okay, that works in some situations. Being happy, we can talk about that. There's a very fine line here. Fake it till you make it type of idea. When people lie about um, their background, and this happens with black belts too. And sometimes it's not even the black belt who's lying; it was the black belt's teacher who lied, right? So, and maybe it wasn't a hurtful thing, but it happens. And now you feel unworthy. Well, if you lied, you may not be as worthy as you should be. So you go back and you make it your truth, right? And there are ways to do that. One is to stop and be honest to begin with. Two is to deal with what you've done, make your lies your truths, and then move forward. These are simple fixes and band-aids, I know, but there are things that a coach can help you discover, or a good counselor, or a good psychiatrist or psychologist that can help you discover and help you work through. Reach out and find the person you need that'll help you. Is it a weakness to have a coach? Is it a weakness to need a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a counselor? No, it's not a weakness. It's a self-realization of moving forward and using the tools that are available to you to achieve that. I'll tell you this, and then I'll move past and I'll let you go for the day. When you need surgery, do you go to YouTube or Google to find out how to do it and then do it yourself? No, I hope not. Okay. You go to a professional, somebody who's trained, somebody who's spent their life mastering that skill set to help you achieve the betterment of what it is you need. When you go to rebuild a house, some of you don't have the skills to do that. Do you try and do it yourself? Maybe, but if you do, you're going to stumble, fall, fail, stumble, fall, fail, when it might be easier to hire an expert to help you. They've been there. When you're trying to improve and empower and make a betterment of yourself and your life, and you haven't done it yet, or you keep stumbling, it's not a weakness to hire somebody to help you. It's not. It's a godsend. It's something that you could do right now to better your life. Number two, real quick, and remember there's five. I'm going to come back tomorrow and finish this up for you. I've got some great people coming in this morning for lessons. But number two, I think the most important, not really most important, but today, ego. Why do we get in our way for and self-sabotage? Ego. Here's the excuses we tell ourselves for ego. Not out loud, because seriously, this stuff happens in that subconscious program. If we don't try too hard and we fail, we can tell ourselves, well, I really didn't give it my all, and that's why I failed. But if we put 110% in and fail, we have to face the facts that we are a failure. And we don't want to do it, mostly. Most of us will not want to do that. Fail first, fail often, fail forward. These are positive things. But our ego says, if I give my heart 100% to this person, they might crush it. And if they do, I'll be hurt. So you hold back in your relationship, you only give 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. And you expect 100% in return, you're setting yourself up for failure. And when you fail, you can always blame the other person or look at yourself and go, I really wasn't that interested. Finances. Well, yeah, I won $1 million, but I never really had $1 million. I don't know what to do with $1 million. People all around me needed money and kept hounding me, and I chop, 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 chop. I don't have it now because I really didn't pay that much attention. No, you failed to pay attention. Failure is okay. But our ego says, no, it's not. Our ego says we're terrible when we fail. These are things that I can help you with. I really can. You can help yourself, but I'd like to help you if that's possible. This month, for November, I'm going to give you the free month of November for free as far as coaching goes. And all I ask in return is if I do something wonderful for you, or if I already have in these videos, that you share this so that I can grow my business so that I can feed my family. This is what I want to do, right? I'll always be teaching, but this is a way of teaching as well. So if you like the video, give me the thumbs up, share it with other people, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the flip side. Remember, today, getting out of your own way, paradigms, belief systems, ego, and the feeling that you might be an imposter. These are simple things that make a big impact on your life, and we need to dig in, root them out, and change the way you believe about them. And remember this: in order to have a new life, you must be willing to give up the old one. And I'll talk about this tomorrow, but our comfort zone of where we are now, we've worked hard to have this. We've really struggled to be right here, and I'm comfortable right here. I have a great relationship. I have good finances. I have an okay job. I'm afraid to let that go to reach for this new life. How do you get past that to reach success? Those are good excuses, right? I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, on your mark, get set. Have a good day, Richard. Grow. Get out of your own way.